Hey y'all, Roland Smith here, Mountain Bush Crafters Alliance. Kind of wanted to be out in the mountains today doing some trap line scouting, but it's rained off and on all morning. And trap season's about 8 days away. So I'm thinking I'll be out there plenty enough in the rain, sleet, and snow during trap season. And this rain is a good reminder for me to wash and clean, maintain my Frogg Togg rain suit. Now, you may think, well, wash and clean your rain suit. As with any piece of equipment that you own, whether you use it seasonally or all year round, you need to wash and maintain that piece of equipment, even down to your rain suit. And to me, on the trap line walking, a Frogg Togg rain suit is a valuable piece of my equipment. Now, I've read a lot of articles and watched a lot of videos on how to maintain and clean and care for a Frogg Togg rain suit. Whether you're four-wheeler riding, you're side-by-side, you're deer hunting, you're fishing, you're hiking, or trapping, a Frogg Togg for me is the best way to go. Now, I'm sure they make a high-end North Face rain suit or whatever, but through the rosy briars and through the mud and the rain, sleet, and snow, I've used Frogg Togg, and I've got to my vehicle, pulled that thing off, and be just as dry as a chip. And it works. It works for me. Now, some of the mistakes being made when it comes to your rain suits. Weather calls for you to put that thing on, and you get to your vehicle, your side-by-side or your four-wheeler, and you'll shove that thing in a dry box, or shove it in a bag and shove it in a dry box, or throw it behind the seat of the truck. You're collecting mold and mildew, which first and foremost is unhealthy. And not to mention, when you put it on, you stink. So you need to clean your rain suits. If weather calls for you to put that thing on when you get home, you hang that thing up and let it air dry, whether it be in your shed, your garage, or even in your bathtub. Let that thing air dry, checking the elastics and the seams, making sure it's good and dry before you store it away. And another mistake that people makes is they're folding it nice and neat and putting it in a little case and putting it away. When you fold that thing, what you're doing, you're causing a wire crease, and you'll cause that suit to fail you. Now, I'm speaking from experience. Walking 7 miles and your rain suit starts leaking, you are miserable. There's nothing enjoyable about being where you are wet, and you don't want that thing to fail. Best thing to do is when you get done using it, you let it air dry, and you find your little dry bag or a little Walmart bag, and you shove it in. What you're doing, just randomly sticking it in there, is what you're doing. You're causing wrinkle creases in different areas. That gives you a longer wear on your rain suit. Now, we're going to get right into this washing of this thing, and I'm going to show you and talk to you the best I know how. Try not to bore you to death. What I've got here is I've got my old school, try to get a shot of that, washing machine. 5-gallon bucket with a commode plunger. It's half full of lukewarm water. I've got my rinse bucket half full of lukewarm water. You don't want to wash a Frogg Togg in any kind of chemical other than what it calls for. This right here will work. It's a scent killer, and it has no chemicals in it. If you wash it in dishwashing liquid, you're breaking down that oil barrier, that sealant in that Frogg Togg. And let me tell you, you'll be soaking wet. Now, the reason I'm talking about a Frogg Togg, let me mention this, is because I have walked with a El Cheapo Walmart poncho. I've had Stearns. And if you do any kind of activity outdoors, whether it's hiking, and Frogg Togg is a good windbreaker, but if you do any kind of outdoor activity and you've got a Stearns on, or you've got a high-end poncho or a cheapo poncho, you might as well not have nothing at all, because the time you pull that off, you're soaking wet with sweat. It's not breathable. It contains all that moisture from your body, and let me tell you, that's rough as well. Now, let's get right into this. Pop your lid off your washing machine. Now, a lot of people go all out when it comes to making a hand washer. They'll put a little drain valve, which is really ridiculous, because you have to take the lid off anyway to remove the clothing. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have a drain on mine. I got a drain right up here on top. I'm going to take the lid off. Put just a little bit of laundry detergent down in your water, lukewarm water. What you want to do is you want to smell for mold. These hoods are detachable on these things. Button and zipper, and breathable. I'm telling you, these things are the way to go. Wash away, boys, wash away. These little washers right here are good for a lot of things that you can't put in the washing machine. Now listen, you put this thing, the reason I'm putting it in here, you put this thing in the washing machine, you have beat it to death. And people has actually put them in the dryer. That thing will draw up, it'll be a sight. And it'll look like melted mozzarella. Do not put your Frogg Togg or any kind of rain suit in the dryer. Yes, yes. Love it. Now, set that aside. When you're wringing this thing out, you don't want to wrist and twist it. What you want to do, you can start from the top, just squeezing it. Working all that water down. Put it over in the range water. Now your paints, you want to check the elastics on it, smell of it. What you're smelling for is mold and mildew. You're visually checking it. A lot of people turn them inside out, that's fine too. But I always check it and you can smell mold or mildew. Check the elastics. And the good thing about these legs, they're super. You don't have to take your boots off to put them on. Your hunting boots. If it starts raining, get your Frogg Togg out and throw it on. Wash day. I wash mine twice a season. Really depends on how much I use it. If it's rainy season, boot trap season, I'll wash it more than that if it starts to stink or whatever. But as soon as I get home after the snow or after the sleet and rain, hang it up and let it air dry. If you do any kind of activity out in nature, Frogg Togg's the way to go. I'm telling you. And this thing will dry just in no time. Like I said, the reason you want to cure free your equipment, they don't give Frogg Toggs away. Ain't like you run to the dollar store and buy a Frogg Togg, you know what I'm saying? Now, hang it up. And the good thing about this thing right here, I failed to mention, is you can store that hood inside the neck of your lapel on your jacket. Let that drip dry. Just a reminder, don't wring it. Just squeeze it. Squeeze it down. Don't wring it. Don't wrist and twist. You're not doing anything any better if you just walk it down, squeeze it out a couple times. I'll let this air dry. I'll let that thing air dry real good. Put my washing machine, my rinse bucket up. And that's how you clean and maintain your frog tog. Like I said, don't put it in a dryer. Definitely don't put it in a dryer. Don't store it wet. When you have to use it, keep in mind that you've used it. Put it in your garage, your basement, your shed. Hang it in your bathroom, whatever you got to do. Let that thing air dry good. Shove it in a dry bag. It's good to go for the next time. But this is Roland Smith Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance. And as I always say, go farther, stay longer. Catch you out in the field.